Today's success story is about an H-1B transferring to a new company and then getting a green card. Right now, it is a very difficult time for a lot of people who are on their H-1B. Why? Because a lot of people are getting laid off. It is very difficult to apply to renew a H-1B. And if you leave the country and a new employer petitions for you, you might have to pay that $100,000 fee. It is a very, very stressful time for anybody on H-1B, especially November, December, where there's a lot of layoffs. Even if you have an I-140 approved, sorry, if you don't have an H-1B transfer, you still have to leave the country. And if you file a new H-1B and you want to come sooner, you still have to pay that $100,000 fee, right? A lot of people's H-1B is going to be used up 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. Sorry, your H-1B is out of luck. But if you have that I-140 approved, if you don't have a new employer, it still doesn't work. This is a story about that situation. The client was laid off by this flooring company, okay? She's an operation analyst at a flooring company, pretty big company, got laid off. Very stressful situation. The competitor of this flooring company really liked her and wanted to hire her. I mean, I'm sure they talked a lot and retained us to file for this petition. It was quite complicated because the H-1B was almost used up. There was like half a year left because she was already on H-1B for a long time. The prior company filed the I-140 but didn't want to continue to keep her. Here are the steps that we had to do. The first, this year, we filed the H-1B transfer. Smooth, no problem, because she had the H-1B for so long. She's capable. The new company, similar company, right? Flooring company's operation analyst. We filed the H-1B transfer, brought her over very quickly during that transition time. Then second, immediately filed the PERM application. And once, it took 2 years for the entire PERM application to go through, labor certification, PERM, that entire process. Once all that was cleared, we were able to file the 45 and the I-140 concurrently because we were able to reuse the prior company's I-140 approval. This was so important because if we didn't do that, then her H-1B would be out, right? But because we're able to file the 45, now we can continue to extend that H-1B for that period of time. She was rushing it down to the very, very last second. My advice to anybody who's stuck in this situation, they have an H-1B or they have an I-140 and H-1B and they are laid off and they have this grace period, look for competitors. Look for a smaller company, a smaller company. They might not have the ideal job. They might have the job position. They might not have the ideal salary and benefits. But if you go to a competitor, it makes the H-1B transfer process that much easier, right? Especially if it's in the same role. The problem you probably will encounter is that the second job is not able to afford your salary. The ability to pay is a high risk issue. And that happened in this case too. The second company, the second flooring company, the H-1B pay wasn't as high as the I-140 prior approval. The H-1B pay wasn't as high as the prior H-1B. And their net proceeds, their company wasn't as wealthy, didn't have as high revenue as the prior company. It's a competitor, but it's smaller. And that's one reason why they can't afford as much, right? And anybody who's being laid off now when they're going to a competitor, probably very similar situation. So one of the things you have to do when you talk to your new employer, when you're working with a new employer, is to see, well, can we make any sort of argument that with your additional assistance and the company, the new company that's petitioning for you is on its way up. The business plan, the market share, the investment, the stock price, anything that can show that the company have the ability to pay for that additional difference. We need to go through the entire company's business plan and argue, look, with the company's growth in the past couple of years, they will be able to make up for that little bit of a difference, that they will be able to pay, even though their tax returns might not be able to show it. Maybe, but based on their marketing campaign, based on the number of employees that they've hired 4 additional new employees in the past year. Of course, they can hire one additional employee that covers the $7,000 difference, right? That's something that you will have to do. Maybe most people don't know that, are not accustomed to that. They think H-1B and PERM purely is just based on my resume, my education, my job duty, and the company's role and the wage determination and the lottery. There's actually the ability to pay issue, which we see a lot of denials on. So if you're in a situation where you feel like you're stuck to a company or you got laid off by a company, you have a very short amount of time, the highest rate of success to find peace and to maintain your status find a competitor, albeit a smaller one, that can give you the same position, similar position as much as possible. In our case, everything got approved and the green card is here. Thank you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.